Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee again with Net 125. Today I'm going to be going over Packet Tracer 12.6.6, which is configure IP version 6 addressing. Right now, a lot of people are kind of new to IP version 6 addressing. Just know that it's instead of 2 to the 32nd power like IP version 4, you have 2 to the 128th power number of possible addresses. So there is exponentially more addressing. All right. So with IoT and all that stuff coming out, there's such a big need for addresses for devices that this was years ago they came up with the IP version 6 addressing scheme, but now we're actually getting into where we actually need it for sure. All right. Now one thing though, you just have to get used to looking at how IP version 6 addresses are written, and I try not to do a calculator, but I do a little spreadsheet just like I do with IP version 4 or like hexadecimal, things like that for MAC addresses. If you look at this is an IP version 6 address in binary. Alright, so there is a whole bunch. If you did it in binary, obviously it's 128 bits long. Alright, that'd be the same thing as 16 octets as opposed to 4 octets with IP version 4. Alright, everywhere I look, it's not the official name for each two sets of 8 bits, but 16 bits out of IP version 6 address is referred to as a quartet often. Alright. Now I know it's a lot to take in, but just kind of like try to soak it up as much as possible, and then go back and look at it later on and do the same thing. All right, so when it's written in quartets, and you have 8 quartets separated by colons. Notice I put colons up here. All right, so each of these two make a set. All right, and they're written in hexadecimal, so base 16. And notice here hex, all right, starts counting with 0 and goes up to F. So if you had FF for these two, that mean, well, FF for this one starting out, all right, that would mean there's all 1 bits. All the bits are 1. All right, and the way you can think about this, it's best to just write it out kind of like in binary, up to the 16th bit. All right, so 1, and then you double the number going up. All right, when you talk about 16 bits in IP version 6, you want to chop each of these up into 4-bit sections. Alright, so you can consider the first 4 bits the 1s, right? The second one's the 16ths, the 256 is the 3rd, and the 4096s is the 4th. Alright, I know that's a lot to take in, but pretty much if all these were 1 bits, notice if I highlight these, it comes out to 15. With 0 makes 16. Alright, if you add all these up, it comes up with 240. And notice if I add all these together, it comes up with 255 plus 0 is 256. So if you did 16 times 16, alright, you would come up with 256. Alright, but pretty much the way like this is written, say in Packet Tracer, notice how 2001, that would be 1 quartet. Alright, and that would be the same thing as doing this. You would have a 1-bit there, 0, 0, 0, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then you'd have a 0. You notice you have a, if I had a 1 here, like say if it was a, instead of a 2 0, it was like a I guess like a, instead of a 2, a 1, that would be a 1. Alright, so when you go up to 2, you go 0, 1 in binary. Alright, so notice that would be this and that. 2001 is the same thing as 8193 in decimal. Alright, I know that's a lot. Take in also these are zeros. All right, that's how it works. So each of these 4-bit sections are represented in our quartet, and notice quartet's 4, so 4 digits. Each of these are hexadecimal, so if you did 16, let's do 16, it's pretty much if you do it like this, 16 times 16 equals 256, notice there, 256 times 16, 4096, right? And then if you did times 16 again, 65536. All right, so if I highlight all these, that I get the same number, 65535 plus 0 is 65536. So each of these sections have 65,536 possible values, all right, including 0 for each of them. All right, so that's how it adds up. You're not going to have to do that, I don't think, very much at all, especially in this packet tracer. But I just wanted to show you how that's broken down, because man, I know it takes a long time to get used to doing that. But just understand what what you're looking at. You're not looking at the 2001. That's not the number 2001. That's the number 1 bit for pretty much the first quartet, 0 bits for the second, 0 bits for the third, and 2 for the fourth. All right. So, but it's not like that. That would be 1. This is the 1s, the 2s, the 4s, and 8 column. So that would actually be 3. All right. So you take off 1, just like counting in binary, just like counting from here. You're doing that same thing going up. It's just the numbers are obviously going up higher. All right. We can keep doing that, but we're not going to. Luckily. And also notice a lot of times when you see a broadcast frame, things like that, you'll see all F's for, say, the MAC address. That means all of these are 1s. It's sending it out to every possible address there is, all right, on that network. All right, so all F's. So if you had FF 6 times, that would be, or is that right? Let me look at it. All right, that's an F, that's an F. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. All right, that would be a broadcast MAC. All right, hard to get your head around that at first, I understand. That's one reason it's not good to use calculators. Even if you get the number wrong, I think, obviously in production you don't want to mess anything up, but you want to know how to actually count up binary to hexadecimal. All right, but notice here I've got the addresses, just the counting numbers, however you'd say that, decimal, but actually decimal includes 0. So 0 is the first address, second address, third address, fourth address. But notice you always have to have 0. So the 16th address is actually 15 in decimal, or F in hexadecimal. All right, so just understand that. And see if I highlight these, 8, 4, 2, and 1. Notice that's 15, and then 16. It's the 16th address, but it's the number 15, which is the F. But it's the 16th address because we're using also including 0 in that. All right. So that section is separate, that section separate, that section separate, that section separate. But when we do that, we can get a possible of 65,536 possible addresses times 8. Let me make sure I show you guys that. 8 quartets. All right. So anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get down to actually just typing it in. And now, you notice that this packet tracer is pretty simple, but understand there's a quartet. This is it has 3 hexadecimal digits in it. So the leading hexadecimal number is 0. All right. Same thing with this. It's a 1, so it'd be 0001. All right, that would be 0001. just nothing would be all zeros. And sometimes if there's more than one quartet that's zero, you can do multiple zeros inside of a double colon. All right. So 8 quartets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So 1, 2, 3. There's 3 quartets with all zeros and then a 1. So that's the very first number, and it's a prefix of 64. 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 is 64. It's saying that this is our that's our prefix, but that's pretty much our network, and this is our first usable host address. All right. If it was left off, like there was no 1 on there, that would mean it's our 0 address, which is our network address. All right, notice here, 64, that's the network prefix number, that's a 1, and notice the first, normally the first, well, not for my security class, don't always use that, but the first usable host address is oftentimes the default gateway. All right, notice here, that's a routable address. They actually used a 2. I would assume that the other side of this is maybe the 1. Like that's a router-to-router connection because that's a serial connection. And this is a link local address used on a local network. Right? And notice how it's FE80. You can start noticing that as a link local address. And this is a routable address. All right, but anyways, enough of that. I just take it in and then, you know, rinse and repeat. Is that what they call it? All right. But anyways, that's our addressing table. There's no questions to answer here. It just wants us to start getting used to typing in IP version 6 addresses. All right, and that's, yeah, a unicast address. All right. Anyways, let's go do this thing. All right, in this activity, you will practice configuring IP version 6 addresses on a router, servers, and clients. All right, notice we have one router, one WAN serial link going out to the cloud, to an ISP cloud. Notice a routable address, well, 2001 unicast address. All right, notice there's no 0 on the end of this quartet. All right, there's no 1 or anything like that, so that's actually a network address. That's network address. That's network address. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4 times 16, 64. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 16, 64. Same thing with this. All right, hard to see, but yeah, they're doing the same thing there. You won't always see 64s, but it's chopped in half. Out of 128 bits, it's using 64 bits for the network or prefix. All right, goes out of router 1 with 2 LANs. Notice you have 1 switch, 3 hosts. This accounting server's not hooked up. Hopefully that's not an issue. All right, and then S2, and you have 3 host addresses there, or hosts there. All right, so let's get to it. Click on R1. In my ISP here, I mean, I still use IP version 4 addresses. They didn't give me an IP version 6 address, but it's getting to the point now where you need to use it. All right, so click router 1, CLI tab, press enter the privileged exec mode, enable. All right, enter IPv6 unicast. All right, so I'm going to config T IPv6 unicast routing. All right, so this command must be entered to enable the router to forward IP version 6 packets. All right, so notice that we have to do that before we can start assigning IP version 6 addresses, and before it allows forwarding of IP version 6 packets. All right, enter the commands necessary to move the interface configuration mode to interface configuration mode for gigabit Ethernet 00. Configure the IP version 6 address with the following command. Now, especially typing these things in, whenever I can copy and paste it, I will, but I don't think it'll let me do that there. No. So I'm just going to IPv6 address. whoops, and so, oh, yeah, interface, gigabit 0, 0. All right, IPv6 address, and it's 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 1 colon 1 backslash 64. All right. So configure the link local IP version 6 address with the following command: IPv6 address FE80. All right. Notice that's the first address, first link local address. All right. Then he wants us to turn it on. We shut. All right. So that interface is turned on. All right. So configure IP version 6 addressing on gigabit Ethernet 01. Enter the commands necessary to move the interface configuration mode for gigabit 01. All right. So interface gigabit 01. All right. Refer to the addressing table for the correct IP version 6 address. And we're on gigabit 01, so it's right there. And I can't copy that. Okay, IPv6 address 2001. Now I know a shortcut to do this, but I'm going to type it in. 2::1 backslash 64. IPv6 link. What is it? IPv6 address FE80::1. Oh, whoops! I didn't tell it was a link local address. All right. Now, one thing to look at also. All right. That's the default. That's a 0. That's a backslash or a ::1. That's the first address. So that's like a local IP version 6 address. This is a IP version 6 address that can go through the router. All right, but notice you assign both of them. All right, so that's that. All right, activate the interface with a no shut. All right, so hopefully it's on. It's starting up right now. All right, configure IP version 6. We already did that. Configure IP version 6 addressing on serial 000. So we need to go to interface 0000 IPv6 address is right there. 2001:DB8:1:A001:2/64. All right, an IPv6 address FE80:1 link local. Oh, I didn't do it. Just like that. Alright, so let's go see what else. Alright, so it is good practice to verify addressing, which is complete by comparing configure values with the values in the addressing table. Exit config mode. So exit. I could have done end to go back. So verify the address configured by issuing the following command: show IPv6 interface brief. All right. If any addresses are incorrect, or repeat the steps above as necessary to make the following corrections. And it says to make a change in the IP version 6 address, you must remove the incorrect address, or else both correct address and incorrect address will remain configured on the interface. Yes. So you need to do the no. You know, if I did it, I would do the, go to config T and do the history and go back to where you configured that with the incorrect address and just put no in front of the command, and then that'll take it out and then redo it. So we look up here, gigabit 00 2001 db8 colon 1 colon 1 colon colon 1. All right. Let's see, FE80 colon colon 1. All right. And you notice there is an issue. All right, gigabit 01 2001 db colon. All right, I missed a 1. So I need to config T interface gigabit 01. All right, notice. See if I can get to it. db8 colon 1 colon 2 colon colon 164. All right. And what I should have done before that is went here. All right. Let me get back to it. db8. But anyways, it was like this. It was like that. And I gotta do a no to take it out. Alright, so let's end this. Show IPv6 interface brief. Alright, notice, see how it has a db1 2 colon colon 1. We need to take this out. Alright. So just verify that that's the case. Colon colon 1 is correct. Right, and just like it shows right here. Alright. Config T interface gigabit 01. If I paste this in there and I do a no IPv6 address /64, and I do an exit. All right, show IPv6 address, IPv6 interface brief. All right, notice took it out. All right, correct address is in there. All right. So save the router configuration to VRAM. So copy running to start. Start up. All right, we're good there. Configure IP version 6 addressing on the servers. Configure IP version 6 addressing on the accounting server. Click accounting. Click the desktop tab, click IP configuration, set the IP address to that. And notice not here, but down here. And I sure wish I could just copy and paste that. Oh, it'll let me do it. Control C and Control V. Alright, that's good. Alright, it's a 64 prefix. Alright. Set the IP version 6 gateway. Now it automatically configured that. Alright. Our link local address. The default gateway is FE80 colon 1. And if we look, see these last, I'm assuming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These will probably match up to our MAC address, I would assume. 3CED. Let's do this. IP. Oh. See, where's that? IP address. Notice right there. 3 ECD. All right. Notice. Yep. I don't know if this calculates it out the exact same way, but it usually adds into the part of your MAC address. But let's not get into that right yet. But I'll show you guys that coming up. Alright, but anyways, let's make sure we got the correct address. 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 1 colon 4 X064. Alright, we're good there. Alright, configure the IPv6 address on the CAD server. Alright, CAD server has done in step 1. Refer to the addressing table for the address to use. Alright, CAD server's right there. Let's see if I can copy this. Control C. Control V. Alright, verify that's right. Colon 4, 64. Alright. Default gateway FE80 colon 1. Alright, so we are right down here. Alright, configure IPv6 addresses on the clients. So we did the 2 servers. Let's do the clients. It's pretty much just getting you to get used to typing in these IPv6 addresses. Alright. 64 FE80 1. Alright, that's sales billing. $64 FE80 colon 1. Alright, design. Let's see. Well, it didn't like that. It's probably not going to grade it correctly like that. For some reason, it's not copying it. Alright. Copy. Alright, there we go. I think that'll work. Alright, so FE80 colon 1. And engineering should be our last one. Alright, 64 FE80 colon 1. And now where did I miss? I bet they want us to hook accounting up to the switch. I would imagine. Alright. Let's see. Configure IP addresses on sales and client and billing clients. Click billing, desktop. Got those, got those. Repeat steps for sales. Configure IP addressing on engineering and design. Alright. Alright, test and verify network connectivity. Open the web server page on the clients. I don't know why this one's not connected. But let's connect it. Oh, it won't let me. Very strange. All right. So click on sales and click the desktop tab. Sales, desktop. Web browser. Go to this right here. Copy, paste, click go. It should come with a website from accounting. All right. So for some reason we're not getting through accounting. All right. And the reason is, that's the reason, it's not connected. Let's see what this thing shows. Port status incorrect. Serial 000. So did I not turn on the port for serial 000? Config T interface 0000, and I'm assuming I didn't. No shit. Alright, there's 100%. Now, what's so funny though? I guess this was a boo-boo. They want us to click on sales, put the IP address in for accounting. Alright. Notice how it won't, obviously I can't hook up accounting because it's not going to let me. But I can't even click on the connections. Alright, but anyways, it's 100%. That's fine. You need to ping the ISP. Click on the desktop tab, command prompt, test connectivity to the ISP by entering the following command. Alright, ping that. A001, and notice that it's pinging through the first address on this network, 2001:DB8:1 A001. Alright, so that's that. And looking here, the serial 000 is the second host address on that network. Alright, so ping that. I'm not going to do that for you, but I'll show you guys can do that. But that's it. And just remember, accounting, you can't actually ping that, so don't worry about that. But that's it. Thanks for watching.